are on our way to the Celebrity Edge, which is not just for us celebrities, just to be clear. So Celebrity, if you don't know, is a cruise line. And then we're going on their newest ship, which is called The Edge, which is designed for millennials, although it'll probably be mostly like 60 plus, but it's fine.
60 plus are really nice.
Yes.
Why are we going on this cruise?
Because my mom just turned 60 on January 1st. Yay! Happy birthday to Mama B. Yay. So my dad, my mom, my brother, my brother's girlfriend, and my boyfriend are all going on a cruise.
And Gallup has his Miami bandana.
He's wearing his Miami bandana even though we're in Fort Lauderdale. But that's okay.
I can't see it, but it does say Miami. Here, there.
We flew into Miami, so it counts. Anyways, I thought I would show you what taking a guide dog on a cruise ship is like, because I've never done it. So I'm intrigued, but I've heard it's a really accessible way of traveling for guide dog and service dog users, which a lot of all-inclusive resorts are not, as we learned when we tried to book a trip to Mexico, and none of the resorts would let me bring my guide dog. And my brother, being the sweet creature he is, was like, well, we're not going on a trip if we can't bring Gallup. Thanks, Brady. So we looked into cruises because I'd always heard from other service dog users that cruises were great. And so that's what we're doing. So we're going to see how he manages on a boat, where he poops, where he pees, all the things. So let's go cruising. So we've made it to the pier. One thing to note is we noticed that there was accessible transit. So if you book it ahead of time for free, they will provide accessible transportation from your hotel to the port. We didn't know about that until like late last night, so we didn't book it, but I think it's super cool that they do that. Now what I'm interested to see is getting on, because there's like 2,500 people on this ship, which is a lot of people and a little overwhelming for me.
And for
Gallup in terms of like getting on. So I'm interested to see what the process of boarding is like as a person with a disability, if they have like a special access line like airports do, special services, that kind of thing. So I will update you guys on that. They did say, now that I've gotten in here, that I will have to go see like the port authority or whatever to like give my paperwork in for Gallup and whatnot, but we had to let them know obviously like way ahead of time. We filled out paperwork, showed my documentation, so check all that off. We just have to do like the final stamp of approval, and then we'll see how we get on the boat. So there's an app on this cruise ship, the Celebrity Edge, and it's a very high-tech ship because it's like their newest boat, and unfortunately the app is not fully accessible, it seems like. So I'm trying to get to messages, which is apparently up here, but
WATER, capital BACKGR, clouds today. Key West, Florida.
So I can figure out where we are.
WATER, capital BAC, WATER, capital BAWATER.
But that's what the other buttons do. Other than that, however, accessibility so far has been on point.
Speech off.
I didn't tell you guys, but when we got on yesterday, I was like very overwhelmed when we got on because it's just a really big boat to get used to. Future Molly popping in here from my couch in LA. I just want to mention that I memorized the entire, I think, 16 deck ship in 2 hours of getting on. It took a lot of brain power. I was exhausted by that night. I went to bed really early that first night, but I like memorized the whole ship and spent the entire rest of the week helping everybody in my family get around.
Yes.
They'd be like, do we go to the front of the ship or the back of the ship? Is it 15th floor? What? Like it was so funny. I was being like, oh, this is where you want to go? This is the elevator you should take. This is the deck you should get off on. Then turn this way when you get off and it'll be beside this. Didn't I?
It was extraordinary.
Yeah. Everybody was like
everybody
how
else
did you
was
do
lost.
That? Everybody was lost.
Molly
it was so
was our
funny.
guide.
So you're welcome. It's good to have
our sighted guide.
Good to have a blind person. Your unsighted
not
guide.
Sighted, yes. Thank you.
I wanted to take you guys to the stairs because the first night we were here, I of course was walking holding the railing and found secret braille. And they have the secret braille on every stair banister in the whole ship. And it's right here. So like underneath the railing, it says deck 5. and it has a little tactile 5. So any floor you're on, as a blind person, you can figure it out on your own, which I think is really cool. I like that it's like hidden. So like none of my family knew it was there, and I was like, hey guys, I found Braille. And they were like, where? And I was like, here, underneath. And they would have never known. So I think that's super cool. Somebody like met us when we got in, and they walked us all the way through everything until we were like on the boat. And then when we got on the boat, we immediately found the puppy pee place. Somebody brought us there. The first question we had when we got on the boat is, where is this man gonna go pee and poops? And so we found somebody, and they offered to bring us to the area, and it's a staff only area. That's what it like says on the door out there. But they're like, we have your key card numbers and names, like we know you're allowed to go there. And so she brought us to this area, and behind this door is a very fancy room. We've trained him to pee at the indoor pee spots. I hear him peeing.
There he goes. He's so good.
Good job, bullshit, buddy.
It's his little pen. He just took to it right away.
He took to it right away. Like, he's actually so happy with it. Like,
he's never ever gone on deck.
No, oh gosh, no. He hasn't even been close to having any accidents. Like, he's been very happy. So it's been really great. All the staff seem to like know that I'm blind and are very helpful. Our wait staff last night was like incredible. He like cut up all my meat for me on my plate, helped me make sure I knew where everything was on my plate, poured my drink for me. It was great. Yeah, it's super helpful. So far all the staff have been lovely and really accommodating, but the app is definitely a big issue because the app is like your access to a lot of things on the boat to, you know, stay in communication with everyone that you're with. So okay, so I just came back to my room and there's fresh flowers and I don't know where they came from. And
a secret admirer.
And my parents' room doesn't have them. So I don't know what's going on here.
Molly.
I feel very special. Like, I was in the shower and I heard somebody come into the room. Turns out they delivered me champagne. I don't know what's happening, you guys. But the plot thickens. I realized. So the captain of the ship, who's a female, which is super dope, like did like a funny little thing over the PA system about to follow her on Instagram. So I was like, oh, I should check her Instagram out. So I just went and checked it out. She follows me. So I feel like potentially the flowers in champagne is from the captain, maybe? I don't know. I'm currently at the coffee shop on the ship, and I'm gonna meet up with the captain, who's a female, which I love and I think is so cool. We actually briefly met in the elevator on the first day. She has a hairless cat on board. I love that. Maybe we'll get to meet her, who knows. But yeah, it was like, do you think the captain would like be willing to meet with me? They were like, yeah. So we set up a meeting. I'm really excited. By the way, this hoodie is dropping very soon on fanjoy.co/mollyburke. It is a black and white hoodie. So it has the black and white B here, and then all down the sleeve, it says Molly Burke in tactile braille. Grab one before they're gone. We're coming out with this one because the mint one is like selling out of a bunch of different sizes. So if you want the mint one, pick it up before it's gone. But if you can't get your hands on that one in your size, we now have this black and white version, which is a little bit different. So fanjoy.co/mollyburke. Yesterday we sat at this coffee shop for like 2 hours with Captain Kate, and she was so lovely. She also mermaids like me. We love a fellow mermaid, and she's just super cool. So I was like, I really want to share some of your stories with my followers. Would you be in the video? So we're back here to meet her again, and we're gonna get a bridge tour of like the whole area where they control the boat. It'll be really fun, so let's do that. Hi.
Hello, Captain.
Oh, me?
Yes.
I'm the captain right now. Right, I forgot I'm in the captain's seat with my stripes and my hat on. So we're in the cockpit, and the captain is getting her cat, who wears
The cat.
this hat.
Oh, it's so gorgeous.
And it's a hairless cat. I've never touched a hairless cat before. I'm very excited. I've heard they feel like peaches.
Okay, so you remember yesterday when I said the live freely
Yes.
on your wrist?
So in Key West, after I jumped out of that airplane, I popped in a shop and I got this, and it says on the back, it's a raku medallion pendant fired in an outdoor kiln and left to smolder in a pit of wood shavings. Not everyone survives their trial by fire. The ones that do cultivate strength and beauty. On the front, it's a mermaid. And on the back, it says, I live free.
Oh, that's so funny.
I know.
Living
when
freely.
you showed me that yesterday, I was like, and my fellow mermaid?
Yes.
What? So, that's for you.
I love. Oh, really?
Yeah.
I love that you mermaid too. It's not often you find a fellow mermaid.
No, not too often. Not one that lives in Vegas anyway. Beautiful.
I feel like I should give you your hat back for the interview.
Oh.
Do
you know, I've never actually worn this hat, except in the commercial for Celebrity.
Really?
They said, can you bring your hat? And I was like, I don't know where it is. And you can feel on the very front here, it's got the gold, we call it scrambled eggs, and that indicates that it's the captain's hat.
Why don't you wear it?
Because everything is indoors anyway, so you're not supposed to wear a hat indoors. These are like from the days when the bridge wings were open and you could actually go outside, but and this was kind of to cover for the weather. So
I feel like there's so much interesting history in ships. You know, it's like
it's one of the most romantic, I guess, historical careers.
And it took you 19 years to become a captain.
Yeah.
And you're the 5th female captain of a cruise ship?
Of a mega cruise ship. So mega cruise ships are about 80,000 gross tons, so a really good size one. We carry maximum 4,900 people. So the idea of the Edge was about 4 years ago, actually 5 years now, and then the actual building of it took 2.5.
And it cost $1.2 billion?
Yep, most expensive ship of her size ever built.
Ever built?
Ever.
That's insane.
I know. But she's like a boutique hotel meets a cruise ship.
Yeah.
And there isn't anyone like her.
That's what we said when we got on, because I was joking, like we kept telling Gallup he was going on a ship. And then we got on, and in his mind he was probably like, it looks like a boutique hotel. I don't understand.
Yeah,
I'm
he's
not
like,
on a
I've been
ship.
here before. I know this.
Also, I've learned it's a ship, not a boat.
How can you tell the difference?
Because a boat can go on a ship, but a ship can't go on a boat.
Size matters.
Hashtag size matters. And are you one of the biggest captains on Instagram?
I think I probably have the most followers, yeah. But I use Instagram to give an insight into a world at sea, because before Instagram, the only thing that people had as an idea for a captain and a life at sea was Captain Stubing on the Love Boat. So it's a bit different than that. It's very similar in some ways, but there's a lot of really cool things that we get to do, whether it's going out in the ports to actually maneuvering the ship, that you can see on Instagram. So I put those in there, and I even put things like a tour of my cabin, because everybody goes, oh, we want to see where the captain lives.
Yeah. What is the cabin like?
It's a pretty sweet suite. I have a doorbell to give you an idea of size. I also have a telephone in my bathroom, which I'm not sure why or who I would need.
Doorbell, so it's like pretty big.
It is, but my office is also in my cabin, and it's all attached to the bridge. So if they need me on the bridge, I can just run
Hop
up
right
here.
out.
Yeah. But I have a really nice sized bedroom, a bathtub, which is great for the cat, a bathroom, a great living area, and something called the infinite balcony, which is the window will come down, so I actually have a balcony.
We have that in ours. It's so cool. The window comes down and then it's open.
So you have a choice of if you want outdoor feel, or if you want to put it up and you've got more space in the room because of it. So it's pretty cool.
It's so interesting. How long have you been living on a boat?
There it is. I've been going to sea this year 24 years. I started as an apprentice officer. I went to California Maritime Academy, so I spent 4 years in university and then worked my way up. And it took 19 to become a captain, which is pretty average. And what I figured out is, because the captain's job is the best job in the world, once you get in that chair, you're not going anywhere. Well, and also when I hear the term dead-end job, I have no idea what that is. I have no concept of that, and I hope everybody finds a job that they're so passionate about, because it really rocks your world. I mean, when you don't want to go home on vacation, that says a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
You found what makes your heart swarm, so yeah.
Before the end of the video, I also wanted to mention that my amazing brother made a donation on behalf of our family as part of our Christmas present to a charity. I don't know the whole ins and outs of it, but basically he donated the correct amount of money that would end up offsetting our family's carbon emission footprint from taking the cruise. So just want to mention that because I thought it was a really cool idea of his, and we really appreciate an earth-saving brother. So thank you, Brady, from me and the rest of the universe. You're a good one. Also, I know a lot of people might ask me about seasickness. So I did get seasick a few nights. I didn't like throw up or anything, but I did have to use a seasickness patch behind my ear, which worked really well. It's hard as a blind person because usually when the boat's like rocking, a sighted person would spot and that would make them feel a little more steady. But for me, I can't do that. And blindness, you know, you already often have balance issues, which I definitely do. So when it's rocking, I wouldn't be able to really keep a straight line. And that was more so an issue on my first cruise when I was like 17 and I left my guide dog at home. This time with Gallop, because he would be able to keep walking straight, he kept me walking straight. So he did actually help me on the rocky sea days to not feel as off kilter and off balance. But yes, recommend bringing seasick patches. You can get them at like drugstores before you go, just in case. Yeah, I got burnt on my final day. I think we all got burnt. I didn't get burnt the entire week, and then today, got a burn.
I'm burned. Dad's burned. Leia's burned.
Is Brady?
I'd say so.
So we're all, and we put sunscreen on today.
Yes.
It was just like really intense sun. Anyways, so it's been really, really interesting experience bringing him on. There's actually another guide dog on the boat too. Ship. Another guide dog on the ship. And they said on average they get one service dog a week. But they've had as many as 4 service dogs on the ship at once, which is pretty cool. All the staff have been amazing and love him. He was dancing his little heart out in the club one night. It was the funniest, cutest thing. He was like running behind the bar, he's like, drinks on me. Like, it was adorable. The DJ specifically for Gallop dancing put on Who Let the Dogs Out. Who let the dogs out? And Gallop was literally going like, woo, 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 woo. And everybody was crying. It was so funny. The rest of this cruise, I've had everybody being, that's the dancing dog. I'm like, yes, it's the dancing dog. So yeah, he found a new skill set and passion, dance. What else do I want to tell you guys? So the ship has been like really incredible at accommodating. I already showed you where he pees and poops, and that kind of stuff. But other things they've done is like 2 days into the cruise, they called my room and were like, hey, we just want to make sure like all your accessibility needs are being met. Let us know if there's anything our staff could do better for you. And I was like, wow, thank you. That's so sweet to check in. They were all good. And then the night before our stop into Mexico, which was our first port outside of America, because the first stop was the Florida Keys. So they put a note on our door the night before explaining what time to meet and where to meet the port authority if I want to come off with my guide dog so they can look over my paperwork and approve it. And then the next morning they called me when we landed in Mexico, not landed, like docked in Mexico, to remind me this is where to meet. I didn't want to get off, so I didn't, but it was really great that they kept on top of it to let me know what to do and what to expect. And then they also let me know ahead of time about the final port, which was yesterday, like the paperwork and the calls I would have to make 6 weeks in advance. So if you do choose to go on a cruise with your service dog and plan to get off the boat in ports, definitely start looking into that stuff really early. And the team here, it seems like they know what's up and they can help you out, which is really awesome because there's a lot of countries that are really hard to get Gallop into and they don't. Like, usually nobody's helpful and nobody knows what to do. So it's nice that they have people here that do know what's up. I didn't plan to get off in any of the ports, so I didn't. But it was, yeah, I just wanted to like spend my time in the spa and swimming. And at the gym, beautiful gym, like you're running on these treadmills and you're surrounded by windows 14 stories from the water. It's beautiful. I don't know what else to tell you guys. It's been a really, really great experience overall, but there's definitely some things that aren't accessible, which is frustrating, like the elevator buttons. The buttons here are not accessible. It is a touch screen, so I can't push a button by myself. Also, the thermostat is a touchscreen, so I can't change the temperature in my room. And I also can't turn on and off some of the lights because certain lights in this room work with a traditional light switch, but others work using the touchpad. So I'm not able to do that on its own. I wish within the app, well, I first wish the app was accessible, and then within that, I wish I had the ability to turn on and off the lights and change the temperature so that I wouldn't have to rely on the touchscreen that's in my room that is not accessible. Overall, Gallup's loved it. I think he's become a cruise pup. We've had a ton of fun. The staff have been great. Captain Kate is so sweet and she mermaids like me. So if you're into the mermaid culture, check her out on Instagram. And her cat was so cute.
And Gallup loved the walking track, didn't he?
Yes, there was also a walking track where he would go. I will admit I struggled to vlog a little bit because I was on vacation.
You were relaxing.
I was like, I don't want to do anything. But now that I haven't filmed properly in a few weeks because I've been traveling, I'm like excited to go home and start filming again. And yeah, okay. Anyways, my voice, do you hear this? I think I'm getting sick.
Oh, baby.
Do you hear it?
I do.
So that's why my voice sounds like this. I think I'm getting sick. Okay, that's it. I love you. Bye.